Welcome to Same-Sex Dialogue. If this is your first time listening, welcome to episode 29. Better to be out than ugly. Here we go.
Are you ready? Sit down and turn off the TV because it's time for the Same-Sex Dialogue Podcast, where you'll hear the most entertaining discussions about gay topics, current events, and news. We bring you the very best of the LGBT community and its supporters. And guess what? Today we have a special guest just for you. Now here are your hosts, K-Town, and the super sexy fashionista herself, Kim Style.
Hey, it's Kim Style. Thank you for joining us today.
And this is K-Town, and we're so glad to have you. We have a very, very special show for you today, don't we, babe?
Yes, we do.
We have a new place to live online, and it is amazing what these guys have done for the LGBTQ community. And the app is called Be Out. I'm going to tell you all about that and let you hear what they have to say a little bit later on in the show.
I don't know a single LGBTQIP person that's not going to want to be a part of this. Did I hit all the letters? I went through the alphabet.
Let's see. LGBTQI
P WXYZ STPUV.
Yeah.
Did I hit them all? I hope so. I hope I left not one single person out.
We include everybody.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Yeah, this is amazing. So honored that they came to Same-Sex Dialogue to put the word out and let us be the first one to bring that to your ears. Mm-hmm. Cannot wait for that. And we're going to be talking about upcoming guests, our second season, our last episode, the podcast awards, and also a social media team, good email, and a rant for you. All right. So, You know what?
What?
I was thinking about how my sister...
Oh, Lord. Which one?
One of my sisters. When we were kids, I heard somebody actually say this to their kid when we was in a grocery store. It made me think about her, but I had never heard a parent say this. But she said, me and my nephew were playing at her house or something. She said, guys, you're being ugly. And we were like, whoa, what? We had never heard that before. But
you're being ugly.
You're being so ugly. We were like, are you kidding me? We had never
Wait, your
heard
sister
of that.
Said that to
Yes. You? And I was like, I asked my mom, I said, did you ever say that to, my brothers and anybody else? And she was like, no, I don't know where she got that. I said, that's crazy.
We were never told we were ugly.
We have never been told. I know.
We just got, whacked on the butt.
I asked my mother because at a young age I was confused by it. I didn't know if she was saying I was physically ugly or what I was doing was ugly. But
yep.
that was her go-to.
That's her go-to, quote unquote.
All right, so we're going to talk about some of our upcoming guests, right, babe? All right, I know the one you're really, really excited about. Y'all have so much in common, which is Johnny Bowden, right?
Oh, Dr. Johnny Bowden. Yes.
Dr. Johnny Bowden.
Oh, my goodness. You don't even need to be here for this one, actually, K-Town. You know what? Real quick, I know we're going to do a whole show with you.
Okay,
real quick.
What?
But everything he teaches, I've watched his YouTube videos. I've been on his website. Just confirms everything I teach my clients. I'm so excited.
I know you are. I see you
and
digging in.
He's very interested in getting the LGBTQIUVWXYZ community in shape. Yes, I did, girls. Yes, I did.
Yes, he is. And he's an amazing guy. He has his what together. Mm-hmm. A wealth of information. You can go to his website, Johnny, Jonny, Bowden, den.com and find out more information about that. So, all right. We are going to be having Margaret Cho on the show in the near future.
I've
very
seen her
excited.
live.
I didn't know that, honey.
Yes. Oh my God,
did?
she's awesome. Now she's on
Fashion Police.
Fashion Police.
Yeah,
she makes the show. She's hilarious.
Yeah, she is hilarious. She has some killer one-liners.
She's a huge LGBTQ supporter.
Yes, she is. Very excited to line her up on season 2. Also, Gay Pride's coming up just around the corner. We're going to be checking in with Ben Byers. And that's going to be at the beginning of our season 2, which starts June 1st. We're going to be checking in with him and talking about the festivities and what's going to be going on as far as entertainment and things like that. So excited about that, right, babe?
Yes. Ben Byers is the president of Knoxville Pride Fest.
I'm excited to see how little you're going to wear.
I'm going to be wearing pasties and a cork. Maybe some fishnet. I don't know. But there will be pasties and a cork involved. Maybe 2 corks.
I'm done. Oh, no. All right. And then we're going to have to tell people about our last episode. It's going to be very, very special. So you're going to want to tune in for that one.
It's the season 1 finale.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be a doozy.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be a doozy. All right. And we want to tell people that the podcast award, the nomination is over. And for all those that took the time to nominate our show, we don't have the results for that yet. We want to go ahead and tell you thank you from the bottom of our heart.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes, for taking the time to do that. Do appreciate it. Our social media team, Christina Hutzel, Johnny Marsano, and Kalina Rose. Absolutely grateful to have you guys on our team.
Yeah.
You're doing a phenomenal job keeping up with all of our social media sources. It is a job.
Yes,
I'm telling
it
you,
is.
I see why people get paid to do it, because it is very tedious, time-consuming job. So thank you guys very much. You have an email, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's hear it.
And I just randomly chose this because it really doesn't go along with our show today. But I think a lot of people are experiencing something that we talked about back when we interviewed Harmonica Sunbeam. So it reads, "Hey, Kim and K-Town. I just listened to your show with Harmonica Sunbeam, and you talked about the gay club scene not being supported. Where does everyone hang out now? Ted and Andrew." Well, Ted and Andrew, we hang out on our couch watching Netflix. You should try it sometime. It's great. It's very entertaining.
You need to quit. You need to quit.
We hang out around at the dining room table eating.
We do go out.
You know what? When we go out, we like to go to kind of like dive bars, listening to local bands. That's one of our favorite things to do.
That is one of our favorite things to do. And we truly enjoy going to one it's in West Knoxville. Mm-hmm. We decided to go there, and oh my, it was so
a couple years
fun.
ago.
Yes, they had our favorite band. Well, you told me about Pop Rocks before.
Oh yeah, we have a local band here, and they're called Pop Rocks. You can actually watch them. You can go to poprocks.com. I think you can like them on Facebook.
ROX.
And they're a cover band of 80s and 90s. They do
awesome.
Everything from Prince to
Michael Jackson,
even Motley Crue.
Yeah, they do awesome job. They're good. And
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah,
oh
Stevie Nicks.
My God, they're just one of my favorite all around groups. And Valerie, the lead singer, she's bomb.
She is. And she's so sweet and so crazy about you,
I know.
honey. We had a good time, but we went down there.
The first time we ever saw them.
Yes, we went down there together.
Yeah.
And you and I, we was, came in, sat at the bar, got our drinks, and they started playing a song or whatnot.
Yeah.
They
were playing Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, yes. It was a good song.
Yes.
It was a really good song. And you got up and danced.
What'd I do?
You made everybody.
Did I shut it
You
down?
made all them other women look really bad, honey.
No.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. And what did Valerie say to you?
Well, mind you, I hadn't met her at this point. I just went up to dance,
right.
and she stopped the song and she said, "Everybody, meet my new best friend here. My band can't even play when she gets up to dance."
You was distracting the band. And then we seen the lady over in the corner. Remember the lady from it reminded us of
the lady in the bar in Sordid Lives.
Yeah, Sordid Lives.
She's my favorite character in Sordid Lives. She's
Y'all
the barfly.
think I'm pretty.
Y'all think I'm pretty. You're so photogenic. I love her.
funny.
Oh my God, I love her.
It's funny. It's
and
funny.
her blue eyeshadow. I love her.
Yeah, we seen one of those up there. We just had the best time. It was a really good vibe. Everybody was very nice.
And then
They
Pop
knew
Rocks.
we were together.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they
didn't
didn't.
care. It was
they
a
didn't
straight-
blink an eye.
It was a straight.
Totally straight. Yes.
Yeah, bar, and they loved us.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They were very, very kind, and we will go there
Yeah.
again. We're going to have to go back there.
We're going to follow Pop Rocks wherever they go.
Yeah,
They played at my birthday last year. OMG.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. We love them.
Yep.
Look them up. Pop Rocks.
Yep.
POPROX.
For hire.
Yes. Awesome. All right. I want to say this. We have been having an amazing following in California here lately. Right now, for our top cities, I'm going to go ahead and mention that right away, and then we can get into our show here. Top cities for this week are Los Angeles, California, San Diego, California, Huntington Beach, California, San Jose, California, Austin, Texas, Athens, Georgia, Carmichael, California, Nashville, Tennessee, Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington.
Wow. Thank you, guys.
We love you out in Cali.
Yes, we do.
They are holding us down.
Hey, I went to California one time. Oh, I had good hair every day.
What happened?
Seriously, there's no humidity out
Oh, you're
there.
saying you went out there and your hair was just good
I had
every day.
perfect hair every day. If I curled it, it stayed straight. If I straightened it, it stayed straight.
Awesome.
It stayed, yes.
You know what? The atmosphere out there and the weather is amazing.
They're so casual and laid back.
Just love it.
Here we're so uptight, got to get everything done, and they're just laid back.
Beautiful weather every day. I just love it.
Yeah.
I would love to live out there, actually. So,
Let's move.
don't tell me that. We'll be getting a U-Haul.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! Here we come, Callie. I don't know if they can handle us.
Oh, goodness. All right. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into the show. We have the founders of the Be Out app, Daniel Pando, Mark Willett, and Thomas Falconer. They have developed a fully immersive social media and content platform exclusively for the LGBTQ community. There is a clear void for the LGBTQ community online that we aim to fill, explained Be Out CEO Mark Willett. And we cannot wait to hear what they have to say and hope you guys enjoy the interview. And here it goes. Okay, so we have the founders of Be Out on the line. How are you guys doing today?
We're great. Terrific.
Yeah, we're very, very excited.
Welcome.
Hey, we want everybody to know that these guys have came out with an amazing app for the LGBTQ community. It is a vibrant, engaged community, and it's combined with cutting edge user experience and intuitive features. The Be Out app is designed to compel a fundamental shift in the script of LGBTQ culture. I know that we have Mark Willett on the line, and we also have Thomas Falconer on the line. Mark is co-founder and CEO, and we have Thomas Falconer, who is co-founder and chief content officer. And we don't have Daniel Pando, but he is their chief design officer. How are you guys doing today?
Very good. Very good.
Very
Awesome.
Very good. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
So why don't you guys start out by telling our audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Mark Willett. I grew up in Nebraska. I was out at a very early age with a very supportive family, and but because of my environment, there were a lot of other people to talk to, and from a very early age, I started seeking out, just some commonality and community, and it was very difficult. It was in the age of AOL chat rooms. That was about my only option, and I found myself feeling very lonely, and that was my only outlet to find any sort of communication or someone else that was going through something that I was feeling. And as I grew up, I always kind of kept up with the options that were out there for me to connect with others. I was a professional singer for a very long time, and I did a lot of traveling because of it. And when you're traveling, you're not always looking to date or have sex. You're looking to, go have a drink with someone or just enjoy the city that you're visiting. And I found it to be very difficult. And I guess that is one of the main reasons that kind of led me to start thinking about developing Be Out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You said you were a singer?
Yeah, I was an opera singer. That's where my degree is.
What?
Wow.
Awesome. I'm very impressed.
Me too.
You got to be kidding me. That's awesome.
Yeah, very different. That's a big jump from opera singer to CEO of an app, but I guess it's kind of a roundabout way that I wanted to do something positive with my life and create something that I could be proud of, and I really think that we've done that with Be Out.
Yeah, you definitely can be proud of this. I've taken a look at it. Oh my goodness. K-Town and I were just saying, if we had only had something like this growing up versus AOL chat groups like you were telling me the other day, I'm thinking it's going to be beneficial to so many, especially our youth, our LGBTQ youth.
Yes, absolutely. And that's amazing, Mark. Let's hear from Thomas. Thomas, just tell our audience a little bit about you.
Sure. So I grew up in New York City. I've been here my whole life, and I'm older than my partners in Be Out than Mark and Daniel. But that's actually really very, very cool because we kind of span 3 generations, sort of. So we have very different experiences growing up gay. Growing up in New York City, it's always been a more tolerant place, certainly more tolerant, I would suggest, than where Mark grew up in Nebraska.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that things weren't difficult. I mean, I had supportive friends. My brother's has always been very, very, very close to me and very supportive. But the rest of my family, not really. And when I was a kid, and coming up gay, there wasn't really this whole process that people go through now of, sitting your family down and saying, I'm gay. You just sort of kind of lived your life and went on to live your life. I kind of envy this generation now because I don't mean to suggest that it's easy to come out for everybody, because it certainly isn't. We hear horror stories every day, but it's a little different now than it was when I was coming up. And we didn't have anything digital. There wasn't even chat rooms. There wasn't even the option for AOL or anything like that because there was no internet. So what I relied upon were publications like The Advocate. There were organizations, there was some fledgling organizations around Manhattan that I could go to for help and support, but not really that much. But a larger community in the city than I'm guessing you would find in other parts of the country. But so I went to school here. I went to NYU. I was a film major. I was a filmmaker for about 10 years. And then I got I went to graduate school and studied with Red Burns at the Interactive Telecommunications program at NYU.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got out of there, I started working in the very, very beginning, very, very early days of digital content, and worked at Consumer Reports and actually led the team that launched ConsumerReports.org. And one of the things that I was very, very passionate about then, and obviously still am now, is this idea of collaborative and participatory communities, vertical communities that have a common interest and something that binds them, with some similarity. And the community that I built at Consumer Reports now has something like 5 million subscribers, and it's hugely successful. And I've been very, very passionate about the combination of really, really wonderful content, wonderful original content, combining that with a participatory community and a collaborative community is something that I think really has value for people. So that's, and I wound up working on Be Out. Mark got in touch with me, and there you have it. We just sort of took off from there with Mark's idea.
That's a good example of what Be Out is. It's the intersection of original content and collaborative community.
That's right.
I'm wondering, how long have you guys actually been working on it?
3 years.
3 years, wow.
Wow.
Since the very, very beginning of the idea. Almost 3 years to the date, I had the idea for Be Out, and we spent about a year formalizing the conception and really, really talking down about everything in detail and how it would work, and if we were going to create something, what the goal was, and then kind of work backwards from there as to what it would have to be to attract the entire community and serve the entire community. We're a very diverse community. We don't all like the same things. We don't all have the same opinions.
Absolutely.
We have different backgrounds and different interests, and if we want everyone to be in a place where we can talk to each other, we have to be a lot of things to a lot of different people.
What?
So it took a lot of time to sort of make sure we were doing it right.
You mean everybody doesn't like hair, makeup, and high heels?
No. Everybody doesn't like Madonna.
Well, you know what? I love that your whole goal in this is to build and foster a community that gives us space to meet people and speak our minds with confidence, safely, and have lots of fun doing it. I took that right from your site. Let me ask you, did that come from personal experience? I mean, have you experienced anything, any kind of violence or trying to go out and meet people, or why that mission? Why are you focused on that?
The idea, when we talk about a safe, our primary goal is, among several others, but our primary goal is to provide, as you said, a safe place for LGBTQs to gather and commiserate and talk and argue and debate and opine about anything they want to. There is no safe Willett place right now. All of us have seen what happens on sites like YouTube, for instance, where a conversation starts about, or even on some of the publications now that have the ability to comment. It takes 3 or 4 comments for some troll to come in and start commenting about how we're all going to hell and we're all Satan's daughters and sons, and all kinds of horrible homophobic comments. So we don't feel safe about that, commenting in those places. So when Mark said, in the first year, what we did was we spent a lot of time figuring out what the LGBTQ community needed based on what we saw was already out there. But at the same time, we were doing a lot of research, real research. We looked at Pew data, we looked at CTI data, wherever we could find data on LGBTQs and their and their habits, their social media habits, and how they use technology and those kinds of things. And the single most significant data point that we found, and was one of those real aha moments, right, was that 85% of LGBTQs said that they use social media on average 4 times a day. Only 15% said that they ever talk about LGBTQ issues.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, so that was a real sort of stunning and very affirmative. That really affirmed for us that we were thinking along the right lines. So that led us also to have. And Mark can speak to this more than I can right now, but I'll just introduce the topic. But when we were talking about the community aspect of and the participatory part of Be Out, we were adamant and passionate about the fact that we have authentic profiles. So there is no anonymity on Be Out. You have to have a face.
Oh, we love that.
Technology. This way, you know who you're talking to. You know that it's a real person, and so there's that. We built all the features and basically based the whole site on this idea of authenticity. So
awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I have a friend. She runs a very popular group. It's public. But there, at one point, if she would get on there and she says something, she would start getting all these messages sent to her, horrible messages. And she doesn't feel safe always. She can't be genuine and true to her thoughts and her feelings for fear of backlash.
Right.
Even further than that, outside of social media, but even further to that, to just, you don't have to look far in the media right now to see that people are afraid to walk into public restrooms in some states.
So true,
it's
so
not
true.
Just what you say on social media, it's dangerous to just walk down the street for some people in our community.
Right.
And so we need to create a safe space for them to express themselves first, and then work as a community together to, mobilize and start to fight some of the things that we need to fight as a community that affect all of us, not just one letter of LGBTQ.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%, Mark. You said that you have assembled the best in-class editorial team. Tell us about the different kinds of content we can find on the app.
Everything. I'll start with mental health. Because I think a lot of times when we talk about health in our community, it's really focused on physical health and HIV, and those are very important things. But I think that mental health is something that affects our community very specifically and uniquely, and it's not something that's really ever talked about. I'll say that the suicide hotline call rate in North Carolina went up 2 times higher than normal after the bill was passed. There's a very real need, not just to express ourselves, but to not feel alone when governments are passing laws that tell you that you're not as good as everyone else.
Right.
And we have Damon L. Jacobs, who not only is one of the foremost voices in the PrEP movement, but he also has 20 years of mental health, 20 years experience as a mental health professional. And we have him writing for us, and physical health. We have food and drink. We have LGBT cinema, everything from just what's popular to, starting to educate us as the history of LGBTQ culture in film. And it'll be an ever-growing list. We really curated some of the best names in their fields, really, really strong professional and well-written voices. They'll be producing video spots for us as well as written content, and we're going to be growing across anything that we could possibly imagine. And the great thing about Be Out is that we also have the discussion section, which allows our users to create their own discussions. And if there's something that they're not seeing from us, then they can write it themselves. and start the conversation right there. There's no need, we're not telling everyone how to think or how to feel. It's not a one-way communication between BL and our audience. We're going to be listening, and everyone has the ability to engage and start a discussion, and everyone has a voice.
Yeah. It's almost like an outlet for everybody.
You know what? I want to say this. I don't think you guys know this is going to absolutely take off.
Yeah.
This is amazing what you're doing, and it's so thorough. You're bringing everything to one place. It shows that you took 3 years to do it.
That's absolutely right.
It shows you took 3 years to do it. You've done it right,
You've
and
left
people
no
are going
T's
to be
uncrossed.
so appreciative and grateful for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to also underscore, what the diversity of our content team. We have Everett Daniel Maroon, who's a trans man who's married and has 2 kids. He lives in Walla Walla, Washington, which is my favorite name of any town in America. We have Erica Rose, who's lesbian. She's our film critic and film theoretician. So we really are our whole point with content and community is to have this gigantic tent. Everybody in the LGBTQ community is welcome, and we want their voices to be heard. So.
Absolutely.
The design is amazing, by the way, and it also looks very elegant, which I love. Did you base the design of the app off anything particular?
Well, our designer Daniel did a lot of research. He looked at virtually every app that's available in the App Store, as well as some high-level concepts that never made it into the App Store. And from there, because we knew that Be Out was going to be very big as far as size, we have a lot of features and it has to do a lot of things on a little screen that you hold in your hand. So we knew that the user experience would have to be really elegantly designed and easy to understand, but also robust enough to do all these things that we say it's going to do. So we had to be really innovative with navigation. We designed everything to be able to be used with one hand. As phone sizes got bigger, the user experience didn't change to accommodate that larger phone. So instead of for things like to push buttons or access the top part of your phone, you have to reposition your hand. Well, our answer to that was to create a remote that you can flip up from the bottom and navigate from the bottom.
Okay.
You don't have to change your hand position to do anything on the app.
That's awesome.
Oh,
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I got a question for Thomas. Can you, can we discuss some of the features a little bit, and then we can go back and talk about some of those individually?
Sure. So we've already talked a little. We've talked about the content offering that we have on the app. The community offering, I'll just talk a little bit about that, as Mark did a little bit earlier. But we have an area called discussions that where what's going to happen in terms of the content contributors. So Damon Jacobs will write an article, say, about what happens after marriage equality. So now we have marriage equality where what about relationships? What about love? What about those kinds of things?
Right.
When the article is posted, he will also lead a discussion. For whomever in the community wants to join that discussion can join that discussion with Damon. In addition to that, our members can start their own discussions, as Mark said earlier. So we're very excited about the discussions area. It's very interactive, completely collaborative, and participatory. Other features that we have, we describe it. Mark always describes the app as fully immersive, and what we mean by that is that what we want is and what we think, how we think it will really work very well is when people carry it around with them, throughout the day. So we have a feature called Plans. Say, my boyfriend and I are going to go sing karaoke down in the West Village, in Pieces between 9 and 11. Why don't you join us there? And the cool thing about that feature is that at 11 o'clock, when the when the event is over or the whatever it is, your party is over or dinner, the plan goes away on the app automatically. It's a sequential time feature. Other features that we have are there's ways to meet people if you're just looking to meet someone for dinner or to find new friends or that kind of thing. We also have the ability for casual relationships. What on other apps I think are called hookups, although I have no idea how that works. But,
that's funny.
And that's fine. We know that that's a big part of the LGBTQ community is that sometimes people just want to meet someone for right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to meet someone for, just to be friends or if you're moving into a new neighborhood. So we give our members the option to do, all of those things. And Mark, have I left anything out?
No, I was just going to add that things like plans, we also have connections on the app. So you can add all of your friends under connections and things like that, and they even categorize them. And then you can pick and choose who you want to see your plans. Everything on the app is very personalizable. You can you can have things be seen by the people that you want them to be seen by. You don't have, if you make a plan saying that you're going to Whole Foods this afternoon, not necessarily everyone in the app is going to know that. You can choose to have it just be your friends, or you can make it public. So if you're a person who's a promoter or something like that, and you want all of your things to be public, you can actually access the community and your audience by using the features on Be Out in a very broad way.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Translate that into things like activism. If someone's going to organize a march, it'd be very easy to do on Be Out.
That's
nice.
awesome.
Another feature I think that is also really very powerful is the dating apps, as you called them, or at the beginning of the program. Those are all one-to-one messaging. I can message you. You can message your friend. There's no capability to have one-to-many messaging. And that was something that we really felt was important to us. And I should also mention that one of the things that led us to figure out what features we thought would be really important to the community was that we looked at all the apps that are out there right now and that have one-to-one communication and that are specifically for hookups for right now. And again, I want to underscore that's fine, but the community has much more going for it, than that one-to-one communication would allow. And one of the things that we found was that people who were using those dating and hookup apps were pushing out at the edges of it and trying to figure out, asking advice about, where are the best dinner places in Hell's Kitchen, for instance, or I'm traveling to Chicago, where's a good place to stay? And what they would get back would be, hookup or date content. Somebody would want to meet for that. So, so we, that process of discovery of really studying what these other apps offer people led us to the kinds of what we think are really useful and time-saving and delightful features that are not available right now.
Also discussions, because when you start a discussion as a user, you can tag it with meta tags for topics, so people can find, if you want to talk about, Prince passing away, you can search for Prince or tag your own discussion with Prince, and there you have the entire rest of our community that's also interested in discussing that right at your fingertips. But you can also place a geotag on your discussion. So you can toss something out to your neighborhood, whether you just tried the new bar around the corner, or whether you think about this new deli. I'm new to the neighborhood and looking for friends. You can do that. So that's another way that we're talking about one-to-many as opposed to one-to-one, which is the equivalent of walking up to someone at a bar and saying, "Hi, talk to me." It doesn't always really work well that way.
Right.
Okay.
You know what? I like the fact that you do allow messaging to the community as a whole, but are you worried about spammers at all?
we're not. And it's not to say that we're, because we're prepared for that.
Okay.
We're prepared for that in a number of ways. One is that we have, membership is based on authenticity and built around authentic profiles. So as I said before, you have to have a face picture. And we use facial recognition technology to make sure that that's a real picture.
Oh, good.
That's
good.
number one.
It is. That's good.
That's really, yeah. So the second thing is that, if you're not yourself, if you're not authentically yourself, then the app won't really work that well for you because, it's one of the things is that you're finding friends, you're talking to friends that you already have, participating in the community requires a subscription membership. So there's a big, gigantic free area that everyone can come in and use. We like to call that the front porch. But you can't participate in the community discussions unless you're a premium member. And so that really, I've had about 22 years experience building online communities, and I can tell you that there is a profound difference between the conversations that you'll find on communities that allow anonymity and don't require authenticity and the ones that do. The ones that do require authenticity and, authentic profiles, for you to be real people and identify yourself, the conversation is at a much higher, much more polite. It's not to say that people don't debate and argue, but I guess for lack of a better word, I would say it's more civilized. It's how people would talk to each other face to face.
Right.
When you allow people anonymity, they'll say things that you would never say to someone.
Absolutely.
They'll say
Right.
things that you would never attach your name to. So, so there's that. And the other thing that I have always found with communities where, an actual membership is required is that the community, most of the time polices itself. Because the level of conversation starts out at a higher and more polite level and a safer level. This is what we mean by safe and well lit, in that we're providing a platform where people can feel safe because of all of these safeguards that we have implemented.
Right.
I want to add a couple of things.
Sure.
Actually.
Sure.
First of all, he's mentioning our premium membership. Our premium membership is $6.99 per month. It's half the price of any perceivable competition that we have, and it's the price of about a cup of latte.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other hand, we also, specifically about spammers, we have community guidelines that, because of their existence, are thusly enforceable. And we also give people the ability to block. So if there's something that's bothering you for any reason, you don't need to have any other reason than your own personal opinion, and you can have that person blocked if there's something that's bothering you.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, that is good to know.
You can report it. We also can have posts flagged and reported as well. So that's the tools that we give the community for what Thomas is saying, for them to police themselves as well.
When you're on the internet, and this always seems to come up, and so I would just like to ask you, what have you guys prepared for pornography, and have you considered that, because that's going to come up?
It's very unfortunate, you know, and it's a reason why I love Twitter. I love it. However,
and we love pornography. However, but you may not want it on your app.
Kim,
I can't be tamed, guys. I can't be tamed.
There's going to be some people that want it there,
right?
And it is an 18 or over app, so those kinds of things are going to be there. Now, the thing that you can do is that we have a media filter.
Okay.
And what that does is that gives you control over what's on your screen at all times.
That is awesome.
If you're in a conversation with someone and you're in Be Out, we built Be Out so that it's not something that you're only using at home when you're alone and no one's around.
Okay.
Yes,
Or, so that, you could be with your mom and she's like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's a social media network. Fine. And if you're in the middle of a conversation with someone and they might send you a picture at any moment and you don't know what that picture is going to be, you can have the media filter on.
Okay.
And what that happens is when they do send you a picture, it's just a box.
Awesome.
You can choose to click on the box and open it or not. And that way you have control over what's popping up on your screen all the time. So if you're someone that doesn't want to, take the chance of seeing that, or that's not something that they want to see or anything like that, you have that option to turn on so that you have control over what you're seeing. But that being said, we're not against pornography either. And we're a sex-positive company. We're not saying don't hook up,
Right.
don't have sex, or that sex is bad or shameful. It's absolutely not.
Right.
But it's just that there's a time and place for everything.
That's
We give
right.
people the option to make that choice.
Right. God, I'm glad I asked that question. Thanks for clarifying.
We love that your content contributors will be leading the discussions.
Once that they start, yes.
Right. All right. Can you guys tell us the different levels of membership? I know you touched on it, but can you tell us the different levels and the difference between them so our audience knows that?
Sure. There's two levels. To give our audience some perspective, our free version has more features and is more feature-rich than the paid version of any other app in this category that I'm aware of, and I'm aware of a lot of them. So we give a lot for free. There's a lot to do for all the people that don't, want to pay the $6.99. For the premium membership, you get to create your own discussions. You can participate in all discussions. You also have what we call night mode. If you've ever used your phone at night in the dark, just dimming your actual device doesn't necessarily stop your eyes from hurting. So when you turn on night mode on Be Out, the entire design and colors go darker,
Wow.
which gives you a much better and easier experience on your eyes if you're using it in the dark. And that's kind of a bonus in
That's awesome.
the premium model. And then also what we as far as picture sharing, and a lot of apps when you try to share a picture with someone, it goes through. It's not held on the server. You have to push it from your phone to their phone. And if you've ever had a weak signal, you understand how frustrating that can be.
All right.
So what we've done for also the premium members is that they can create albums. And that way you can categorize all of your pictures with unlimited albums. And then when you're sharing pictures with friends or, prospective dates, anything like that, you have the ability to unlock albums however you like. You can unlock album A, B, and C, or just A and C. And that way you have control over what you're sharing, and you can share multiple pictures with just one click.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right. So say Kim and I want to invite all 5,000 of our friends to join this app. How could we do that? What's
You're going to get them, baby. I promise.
You're going to get every one of them. Tell us, what's the easiest way to do that?
Well, right now we're running a promotion on our website. If you go to www.bout.lgbt, there's an LGBT domain, and we're so happy to have it. So it's www.bout.lgbt. You can go on our website and provide your first and last name and an email, and you'll automatically get your first month of premium membership for free.
Awesome. Yes. I love it.
And we're aiming at a launch this summer, so we're right around the corner from being available on the App Store.
Mark, do you have a date on it? I mean, you have a solid date, or are you still trying to tweak some things? We need to know now.
Right now, I don't want to speculate beyond this summer because I don't want to be held to. I don't want to give false promises, but I can say that there's a lot of things that we're kind of waiting on, but it's not going to be too much longer at all. And
Okay.
if you sign up, we'll be giving regular updates.
All right.
Okay. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, my pulse is just flying because I'm so excited about this app. And I know that our friends that we've already told about, they're just so excited.
They really are. Very intrigued as well. It's
I'm
awesome.
not really that much excited about myself as I am the younger LGBTQ that really need this. It's the youth that I'm worried about and concerned about. Yes, it's going to be fun for me, but the youth is what is really going to benefit from this.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. And you just touched on something that I really, really feel passionately about. I'm glad that you understand, because as a gay man in my 30s, I was well aware of the generation gap.
Right.
In gay men specifically because of HIV in the 80s. And I remember walking into a bar and asking someone, where's all the guys in their 30s?
Right.
And my friend said, well, they're not with us anymore, a lot of them. And I think that and a lot of things has really contributed to, especially, the fact that the social media right now is developed for LGBTs is really specifically focused on sex.
Yeah.
And if you're not interested in having sex with someone, you're not talking to them.
Right.
And that way we're not passing down this generational culture. And I think that that's one of the things we really want to accomplish with Be Out, is to connect with not just the LGBTQ, but also the generation. Our older generations, all the culture and history we have, and all the people that have fought so hard for us to have what we have today. For them to be able to reconnect with younger generations so that we can give the youth of the LGBTQ culture a little bit more hope than we had when we were that age.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And to add to what Mark said, I was in New York City when the AIDS crisis hit, and one of the things that I will never forget, and that makes me eternally grateful, was the response of the lesbian community in New York to the AIDS crisis.
Right.
I was a member of ACT UP, and was also a member of, I helped out with God's Love We Deliver and all those kinds of programs, and it was the lesbian community that made that stuff work. That they swept in and took over and just took care of everybody. And I will never forget that. And I just got goosebumps just talking about it. And that's one of the reasons that's something that we feel very, very passionate about too, is bringing this community together. And as Mark said way before, we're not this monolithic community that has, across LGBTQ, that has, all of the same tastes and all of that kind of thing. But we do have commonalities.
Yes.
And we have more in common than we have differences. And I am so much looking forward to when Be Out launches as a platform for us to bring all that together again.
Wow.
Yep. Yes,
We're
absolutely.
so thankful to be a part of it, actually.
Yes, we are. We are very, very honored and hope that you guys will come back, because we have so many other things that we'd like to talk to you about once the app actually launches. Would you guys like to leave us with final note for our audience?
Sure. Well, I just wanted to also add about going to beout.lgbt. You can also, all the things we're talking about in terms of the features and everything else, we have a video on the website where your audience can actually see what we're talking about. They can see how the features look and how they work and that kind of thing. So there's that. So that's my marketing hat. I'll put my personal hat on right now and just say that, I've been looking for the idea that I am able to work with Mark and Daniel, who are the best partners you could possibly imagine, to work with them on something that is potentially going to have just such a positive impact on the LGBTQ community this is the most exciting thing I've done in my entire professional career.
Wow.
And exciting because I watched it come to life. I helped it come to life. Mark and Daniel and I have worked so hard, and now we're able to see the fruits of our labor. And it's constantly astonishing to me. I wake up sometimes in the middle of the night and I'm just overwhelmed with the potential of this. So I can't wait for the launch.
Absolutely. We can't wait either. And that's the truth. We want to tell everyone that we will have links to the site in our show notes. And also we will be putting their information out in our social media feeds. For anyone that's interested, please visit this site. It is amazing. Before we go, I'd like to say, guys, we appreciate it so much for you being on Same Sex Dialogue. And I like to say to you, Kim, I love you.
I love you more.
That's the end of our show. Don't you dare leave without going to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Ciao, baby.